It's the right thing. It's a program, and it's more of a philosophy that says we're not only going to work on character education, but we're going to work on school values. We're going to work on programs that will enhance learning and allow the culture to be one culture that everybody's striving to be the best. All students and all teachers are involved in the program, and all of them celebrate the things that are going on in the school, and they celebrate best for each of the activities they're doing.
GE has definitely affected our culture. From a school counselor's point, when I have a difficult situation I've got to address with a group of students or just with a classroom as a whole, there's continuity in language. So I can go to that teacher and say, you know, here's the expectation we were working on in school counseling. Here's some tips that I think could be helpful for your class. It takes that defensiveness away from teachers to school counselor and basically adds a backdrop for it to be a coaching, a teamwork effort to work toward the expectations, not somebody's individual performance. We're all working together for the same goal.
Great Expectations has changed the way that I talk with the kids. My conversation with them is now focusing on the expectations versus the behavior. And the kids can quote it back to us, and they can tell us now what they should have done, what they should have done differently. Our number of referrals have been greatly reduced, and what we notice is kids are holding each other accountable when they don't meet the expectations. And we've had parents comment to us too about how it just feels different in our school. It's just a different culture now than it has been in years past. One parent even said, everybody's just happy, everybody's smiling.
I think the teachers are a lot happier. The teachers are loving on the kids, and the kids are loving them right back. It's a mutual respect that has been built within the community. The teachers are demonstrating for the students how they're supposed to act, and you don't hear teachers raising their voice. You do not hear teachers fussing or complaining. You're always hearing positive reinforcement.
Most of the time when I see people, they're in the hallway, and so it definitely changes that. There's kind of there's a common language now in with GE that, you know, teachers are using the same words in the hallway to not necessarily even reprimand students, but redirect students. Before it was reprimand, get to the back of the line, do this, do that. Now it's like, let's think about our choices, and then if they move to the back of the line, why did you move there?
Right when I walk in the door, I see a big difference because nobody's like being mean to anybody. You see everybody just like their best friends walking side by side and not arguing, and they're not hitting each other or playing in the hallways or running down the halls as fast as they can.
When you're walking down the hallway and you have to go to a house competition or something, your team and other teams are cheering you on.
Used to be students competed with each other. They even acted like they didn't like each other, but now we value each other and we cheer each other to success. We make sure that every student is loved, but also that every student has an opportunity to learn and is cheered on no matter the process that they go through to learn.
Everybody's been getting happy because people are getting less bullied and they can start working together.
There's a sense of family now at Honey Path that obviously wasn't here before among the students. Teachers have always been family, but I think the students are now becoming closer to each other. They're encouraging each other, and you just don't see that in every school.
I love the Morning Buzz. I feel like it brings our school together as a family, first thing. We're all on the same page. We quote the expectations daily. So everybody's consistent. And that's another thing, being an assistant principal. There's not a set of rules for this area of the school, a different set for this classroom. Everybody's consistent. And so the expectations are the same for all of our kids, no matter what class they're in or what activity they're in.
I like it because we say the HP pledge and the South Carolina pledge and the Pledge of Allegiance, and everybody has to stand up, and some people don't want to do it, but now I think they're liking it.
I like the Morning Buzz.
Why do you like the Morning Buzz?
Because you get to see the younger people talk, and it's fun, and sometimes it makes me happy when I'm sad.
Our Morning Buzz has brought parents in to observe their kids leading, because our classes lead the Morning Buzz. So they came in to watch their kids and how they are exhibiting those leadership qualities that some of those kids would not have had the opportunity to do before. Parents are impressed.
I like Great Expectations because they help our school grow and everybody encourages more people.
I think that the greatest part of the Great Expectations is that you learn more and then you don't get in trouble as much because you know what to do because you have expectations.
They see the Great Expectations and everybody following them, especially the teachers, and they think that they should too.
Like, we will value one another as unique and special individuals because you value everybody, and that means if like your teacher is talking to you, then you're not supposed to interrupt.
When we didn't have Great Expectations, a whole bunch of people weren't being nice to everybody and they weren't following the rules. But now since we have Great Expectations, they're following the rules more.
Before we had Great Expectations, there was a lot of bad behavior, but now there's not a lot because people know they should go by the Great Expectations and help people.
It's different because the other students, they listen more because we have an expectation that we will value one another as unique and special individuals.
With Great Expectations this year, everybody is more nicer and people are not getting in trouble as much. And last year when we didn't have Great Expectations, people were not being very nice.
The most significant change I've seen in our students is their level of learning with GE. They are using GE to reteach other students. So instead of going from a worksheet and reciting GE principles, they're actually getting up in front of the class and they're reteaching, which is the highest form of learning.
And since we've implemented the GE program, I think the student level of expectation has really risen. I think being able to use quotes and get those higher order thinking skills and incorporating that into our curriculum have really made a difference in their ability to really to focus, stay on task. It's encouraging to them. They stay positive.
As a result of GE, our students are now using formal language. When they address the class, they speak in complete sentences, and they tend to give more detail in their explanations of whatever we're discussing at the time. They respond to each other with respect. They've learned to listen. They've learned to wait. They've learned to attend to what's being said.
One thing that I have enjoyed the most with the Great Expectations program this year as a school counselor is it has brought so much cohesiveness to the curriculum that we've chosen to use with our students, which has been the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Children, the Leader in Me. And it allows our kids that college and career readiness component, that they need the soft skills. Those 17 principles are all encompassing for what they need as kids, and they've got to start practicing it now so that companies are seeing those principles within them before they graduate. And so our goal is for them to be mastering them while they're here in elementary school, so they are taking it on middle school and high school. So I love that those soft skills that are being pulled in through GE.
Definitely feel like our curriculum has really taken a notch up. You know, what our expectations are. Again, holding students accountable for their learning, and keeping their expectations of what they can do themselves has really risen through Great Expectations.
Scary going in as a first year teacher having a relationship, and Great Expectation kind of gave me a standard that I had to really reach for. So it already set the expectations high, so that helped me a lot, and it helped create that environment. It helped the students, me already know what I'm going to expect from my students.
I work with the GT students across the district in 3 different elementary schools. I was previously here at Honey Path Elementary. And the difference that I see, obviously when I started I was like, there can't be that much difference in the 3 schools, but seeing GE used at Honey Path, the students are more well-rounded. they can answer questions in complete sentences, where at the other schools is, and I don't want to throw slam at them, but it's more of yes, no, they're providing depth to answers. Teachers are requiring more depth.
I noticed big changes throughout the year with Great Expectations in the way that the children treat each other in the classroom. Compared to last year, they seem to have more respect for each other. They're willing to go the extra mile to help each other out, where before we implemented Great Expectations, that was not always the case.
The students absolutely love Great Expectations, so their response to it was fantastic. They look for the Great Expectations to practices in every book we read. If there's a character that does not practice those Great Expectations, automatically like, oh, that character is not showing those expectations, they would not receive principal's buzz or anything. They would be very distraught about it.
The students hold each other more accountable than we do at this point. If the students feel like one of the other students is missing part of an answer, they will assist them. They will encourage them to give more detail. They really live by those life principles, putting forth more effort. They're self-disciplined, and they're working to do their very best.
People like to do their work now because they know their friends are going to encourage them instead of put them down. Everybody is a lot more nice to everybody. Like, when I was in 3rd grade, people would be hitting each other and have to go to your office, and nobody likes that. And and our teacher, she would just go bonkers practically, and we would not get most of our learning in. So now that we have the 8 expectations, less people are getting in trouble.
Less people blurt out in class, and they don't talk to their neighbor as much because they like to pay attention.
When we didn't have Great Expectations, the school was doing good, but it wasn't doing as good as now, and a lot of kids weren't getting their work done.
Now I can actually hear the teacher, because back then nobody would respect them, because now that we say it every morning in the buzz, it kind of sticks to them, and now I can actually hear the teacher and pay attention more. Last year when I was in 3rd grade, everybody was they would get out of their seat and run around while the teacher was telling us something really important. And now you just see them and they're so quiet and listening because they know that when they look at the expectations, we are supposed to respect others, especially adults.
I mean, last year when we didn't have Great Expectations, the teachers were and then this year when we had Great Expectations, I think the teachers were getting nicer. I've noticed that they are kind of more strict because they know more, because you have expectations that you're supposed to follow, so now they're more strict so you can follow the 8 expectations.
It does make them a little nicer though, because they want to go by that pledge that they have. Sort of teachers are a little more strict because they know that you know the 8 expectations. Now they expect them to listen and focus and stuff like that because they've done the 8 expectations every single morning, and you should know them by now.
I think that they've changed just by getting nicer about the Great Expectations.
Now they're more relaxed and they're not going crazy and making people go to the principal's office or anything like that, because now people are listening.
I've also, as a parent, seen it carry over to my home. One example is my little boy decided to tell his sisters one day that they were not cheering him to success, which is one of our expectations that we quote daily.
As a parent, my son is actually 5 years old. He's in kindergarten here at Honeypath Elementary. It just teaches them respect and how to treat others at home and at school. And I just think if we can teach them this age, at this young, the great expectations that we're going to make a huge difference in society.
Having 2 children here at Honey Path Elementary, I can see a difference in their attitudes towards school since GE has been implemented, and the way they treat their classmates and the way they treat each other and people in our community and family.
I have seen the great expectations carry over at home. One instance I can think of in particular is one day Bryant fell. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I checked on him and then I laughed because it was funny, and he quickly said, "Mama, we do not laugh at or make fun of another's mistakes or use sarcasm or put down." So he quickly used one of those expectations to correct my behavior.
More people are like listening and they're following the rules. Like before, some people would get bullied by people, and now since there's expectations, they don't get bullied. It's helped me become a better student by focusing more and helping people that don't want to stand up and do something to stand up.
Other schools should definitely implement GE. I think it gives, again, schools common language, it gives them unity, and it gives them something to strive for.
When I come into the classroom, I've noticed everyone's talking nice to one another, the students are encouraging one another, and it just feels like a good, positive environment for the kids.
They tend to hold each other accountable for their actions now. They'll make comments like, "That's not following expectation number 2," or you didn't allow others to go first.
Really stood on its own and proven itself. It's not something that you can be skeptical of anymore. It's been proven in the classroom. I've seen it myself.
And when a student can greet you at the door with a handshake and make sure that you feel welcome in their room and make sure that you know what they're learning, I think is huge. And I think we're moving students to being more well-rounded citizens rather than just a student in the school system. Very nice. Have a seat. Okay.
We will value one another as unique and special individuals. We will not laugh at or make fun of a person's mistakes, nor use sarcasm or put down. We will use good manners, saying please, thank you, and excuse me, and allow others to go first. We will cheer each other to success. We'll help one another whenever possible. We will recognize every effort and applause. We will encourage each other to do our best. We'll practice virtuous living using life principles. I am aware that as a class, our team is only as strong as our weakest player. I will practice honesty, patience, and responsibility. I am a student. I am an important part of the 323 family. I will strive to make everybody feel like a somebody. I have the ability to make a change. I affirm superlative expectations for my students and myself. I cherish every student. I